You're listening to Edge Radio TV. The views and opinions expressed in this program are that of the host or guests, and not the Edge Radio Network or its advertisers or affiliates.
Good afternoon and happy Monday to everybody. Welcome to How You Living on Edge Radio Network. My name is Robin B. And hey, Dr. Kiva.
Hey, how's it going?
It's all right. How are you?
I am well. How are you doing?
Good weekend?
I did. What about you?
It was a working weekend, and I'm sure yours
Always.
was also.
Yeah.
I felt like you this week. I really did. I got zero breather right up to midnight last night. But we'll fix that. I'm going to take Wednesday off. So
yeah, and so yesterday, since I was at the clinic, I have to wear a mask the whole 7 hours.
How do you do that?
It's difficult to breathe,
oh my goodness.
And so the reason why I'm bringing that up is because we're still flowing through our mental health,
Yes.
the last mental health programming that we're doing. And so I wanted us today, so this is our last mental health day, to just take a moment and take a few deep breaths.
Oh, that's good.
So exhale everything
I'm listening
out.
to the doctor.
Now just take a deep inhale.
Now, do you hold it in?
No, just let it go and exhale it out.
I needed that.
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you.
do one more just so we can be
Okay.
calm.
Okay,
Another
thank you.
inhale and exhale.
You know what? Thank you. Because I notice when I'm stressed, you forget to breathe. And it's very shallow, and that definitely affects your mental state. So
it does. And so since we're talking mental health, I just thought we'll take a little breath moment.
We need to do that every week, really.
I think so.
Let's keep this
that'll be our new thing.
Thank you.
We'll take a moment to take 5 deep breaths before we start programming.
You know I need it. And with that being said, I think that this was probably one of the most important months we've had. Mental health has been a huge issue, not only throughout the country, but really throughout the world.
It is. And we
some
see it
people
showing
are taking
up.
it very seriously, but and thank God we've got a double-header today, and our first guest is going to tell us all about her involvement with advocating for mental health.
Nice.
So I think
we need some soldiers out there, some warriors for mental health.
Yes, we do, big time. Because especially now, kids are coming back. Some kids are very paranoid. I have a friend whose daughter's terrified. She's like 13. She's afraid to go back to school.
Really?
So things like that have to be addressed.
Wow. Yeah, and then sometimes we just don't even know.
Exactly.
Because I ask a lot of my patients, like, are you taking anything for anxiety and depression? And their first thing is, well, of course, I have them like, no, medication-wise.
Right.
So adults recognize that they are stressed, but I don't know about kids.
Right. That's exactly right. They might be overlooked. And
exactly.
We figure they're resilient and they can handle it, but we don't know what they're dealing with. So we're going to bring in, we have 2 guests, a doubleheader today. And the first one is actually very illustrious because she's the president of the Fort Bend ISD board, the school board.
Nice.
Yes. So Ms. Addie Heyliger, and I hope I pronounced it right.
She'll correct
And she's going to let me know if I didn't. So let's just take a real quick break and then we'll bring her in. Is that all right?
Nice. That sounds like a plan.
All right, guys. We'll be right back.
Are you living just to get by? Are you looking for some blue sky? How you living? How you living? Are you living just to get by? Are you looking for some blue sky?
And welcome back to How You're Living on Edge Radio. So today we have Miss Addie Heyliger.
Heyliger. We're going to get it
right. So welcome to the show this afternoon. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. I am a advocate for our communities, and especially of the underserved communities. I'm a mother of 2 kids. I have a 24-year-old and a 17-year-old, a child that's a senior now in high school. He's a proud hurricane at Hightower High School. I'm also a professional. I work for one of our leading companies here in Houston. I'm an IT manager here.
Oh, nice. But she's got a lot on her plate. So you definitely have a personal stake in the mental health of our youth, clearly.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so, when I talked about my 2 kids, my youngest one has a lot of challenges, and one of the areas that he has had challenges and that we've helped him overcome is around the mental health. He's had lots of issues from day one, especially when he was I remember kindergarten. They were always saying, "Why is he so active?" and some of the challenges that he's had all through his educational process. And now we're here as a senior, and we really saw that he was having more of those challenges came about, especially in the middle school, and then definitely in high school, it really exacerbated. And so I worked a lot with our local medical professionals, as well as our teachers and counselors, to get him services. And one thing I know is that if our kids aren't getting help, it impacts their ability to learn. And so, as a parent and as a Fort Bend ISD trustee, it is important for me that we meet the needs of all of our kids holistically, and not just put them in a corner or we don't put people in corners anymore. That was just a figure of speech, but put them aside and just say, okay, this person is having behavioral problems. Well, reality of it is, a lot of times when our kids are having behavioral issues, there are other circumstances that leads into that. It could be that they're not being fed. They have a lot of issues and concerns at home that they're trying to, as a child, deal with. And then you also have, the mental health issues. And my son is one of them. And I'm just really grateful and thankful that we've been able to work through some of those problems that he's had, and able to be successful. He's able to be successful now. I want to share this story because, I told him I would tell you all, but this has been such a big fight for us when it comes to mental health. One of the things that we don't do is, especially in the African American community, is we don't talk about mental health as much as we probably should. A lot of times we just talk about that uncle or that aunt, you know Uncle Joe, that's how he is, and really not talk about the issues that he's having, because a lot of this is the stigma around mental health is passed on from generation to generation. And as a parent, I definitely had to stop that, even in my own family, just to make sure that people really take seriously mental health and not make a joke of it, because it's not a joke. And recently, my son was having an issue, and he was able to recognize that he was having an issue. Wow. And to me, that was amazing. That's was a breakthrough. Everything that we've been fighting for the last 17 years of his life. Mm-hmm. For him to recognize that he's having an issue and he's going into crisis, and for him to feel comfortable enough to tell me, Mom, I'm having a crisis, I need help. I got into straight up gear, and we were able to go get him the support that he needs. And so I think all of our families, need to be able to have that safe space in order for our family members to be able to say, hey, I need help. And then especially as we work with our counselors in school, we need to be able to create those safe spaces at school. I know I just talked a little lot.
That's okay. But we definitely want to take that. I mean, everything you're saying is extremely valid and important.
Yeah, because I think it's awesome that he could recognize that.
Right.
Even as adults. If we could recognize that, that would be a really step move forward.
That's the truth. That's the truth. So I'm wondering, is that what led you to have? I understand that you did speak at a public hearing for Fort Bend ISD. Was it as a result of your son's crisis, and how did that go?
Board member. I'm a trustee. I'm the president. So actually, it was a hearing that the board put on for the public, and able for us to really share some of the work that we've been doing with behavioral health within the district, and allow for the community to ask questions and find out more information about what's happening in our district. And so, but I got on the board back in 2015 because I was watching the news one day and someone said it was a newscast around African American boys and how they were failing in schools and how they were being treated disproportionately in our schools with discipline. And that's kind of what drove me to actually run for school board, especially knowing that my son in kindergarten was suspended. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh my
where
gosh.
kids get suspended at 5 years old.
So you're a perfect example of don't get mad, get busy, and do something about it, right?
Absolutely.
So that's how you got involved with the board, because you also are in corporate America right now, correct?
Yes.
So that's really awesome.
The board is a volunteer job, and we give back to our community so that we can service our students and families and in our communities. The board is we don't manage. That's what our role really is, to govern the school district. We create the policies. And so when I talked about the discipline policies that I know we had at the time, we all those discipline policies are now changed. And I would have to say that a lot of it is part because we learned so much, even with my own child, over the last 7 years or 6 years that I've been on the board, that really impact not just my kid, because if it's happening to my kid, that means it's happened to a lot of our kids in our district. And so I'm excited and happy the fact that we've changed a lot of our policies around this, how we do discipline in our district. We used to have two discipline schools per se, DAP programs, and we now only have one. And so that's progress.
Wow.
So that's awesome. So you've been on this board for 6 years, and that's cool. That it's I didn't even know kindergarten that they could.
That's outrageous. I mean, that's really outrageous.
It really is. So how how many people are on the board, and you have some new board members?
So our board is 7 board members. We have 3 new board members that were elected in November. We welcome them to the board, and excited about the new thought processes that they're going to be bringing to the board. We also will be having an election up in May. I'm actually up for re-election. It's 2 positions, position 6, which is the one I sit in, as well as position 2. In position 2, there will not be, the incumbent, which is Trustee Grail James, will not be seeking re-election. So that is an open seat. And I believe there's 4 people running in that race. And then in my seat, there are, I believe, 6 of us that's running in the race. And so it's important for me that, I stay on the board and continue to do the work, and to bring some continuity to the board, since we've got such major changes on the board.
Right. It sounds like if it's not broke, don't fix it. So, and it sounds like you've been fixing
that's
a
what
lot.
I say.
And it's all about passion, right?
It really is.
If you have a dog in the fight,
that's right,
then you're going to even be more passionate about it. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we definitely salute you on what you've been doing.
Thank you. There's so much more work for us to do, and I just feel like my work here is not complete and it's not done. And so I'm excited about this upcoming election, and to be able to continue to do the work that we started back in 2015.
That's amazing. Now, I know that you guys have a grant also that's coming up. I understand that there's a grant that's on your agenda. That's coming up for a vote. Does that make sense? I think we got frozen screen. Uh-oh. Network issues?
Well, we're going to take a little short
Good
break.
Timing.
It's time to, well, live Zoom calls,
Yeah.
anything can happen.
Really?
So we'll come back and we'll find out more about the grant and the board. Just we'll take a little short break.
Be right back.
Are you living just to get by? Are you looking for some blue sky? How you living? How you living? Are you living just to get by? Are you looking for some blue sky?
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
Edge Radio TV is holding auditions for new show hosts. Are you a subject matter expert, professional, influencer, book author, thought leader, or business owner with an educational or motivational platform? Then we want to meet you. Send a link of some of your work to edgeradio20@gmail.com and be sure to put audition in the subject line. Join the Edge Radio TV family. Edge TV, because truth still matters.
Okay, we are back. We lost Addie for a hot minute, right in the middle of an interesting question. I thought it was interesting. Anyway, so thank God she's back. And hopefully you can answer this question. It was regarding a grant that I understand the board's going to be voting on.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this grant as well. This is the VOCA grant. This is the Victims of Crime Act grant. And what it does, it allows us to get about almost $400,000 worth of funds to help support victims of crimes with the support of mental health. So this will allow victims to get free mental health services, their families as well, through this grant. And so I'm excited about our ability to get this grant.
That's pretty amazing. So what is Fort Bend ISD's overall approach to the mental health? I mean, I'm sure you guys have been able to see the result of this crisis on your students.
Well, definitely, we feel like we cannot really make decisions for our students without us having a good understanding of the holistic child. And so that includes the mental health of our children. Right before COVID, we created a mental health, department where we house a lot of our different counselors and other departments underneath the mental health program so that we can truly create a focus on that. So I think from our perspective, when the board meets and makes decisions, we make decisions based on the full holistic view of our children.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Now, I know the parents are a big part of this. Are they being receptive to this?
Oh yeah, for the mental health programs, yes, the parents are very, very receptive. Matter of fact, we're looking into. We started out with some mental health clinics on the east side of our district, and we're looking to expand them as well. So we all know that we need to have more mental health services to support our children. I mean, during COVID, I think you said that earlier in the beginning, COVID has really also impacted all of us. And so adding on to the other stresses that people have in their lives, then you have to add on COVID as well. I mean, I know I struggled. I mean, there was many of days I thought I was, what's happening, just really being isolated from a lot of people. It was important for me to check myself mentally and make sure I was able to, get supports that I needed and have an outlet. Mm-hmm. So I think we all know that our kids are excited about having an opportunity to go back to school, to see and network with their friends, as well as to do it safely. I think, we have about 60% of our kids, around roughly 60% of our kids that are still online in our district. And COVID is real. Mm-hmm. And so we need to respect the disease and respect people's individualities when it comes to how they handle that. But now that we have more of our communities getting vaccinated, I saw something on the news this morning where 21% of Fort Bend County have been vaccinated. That's major. I think
and Dr. Kiva is part of that percentage. So congratulations, Dr. Kiva.
But we're working on Robin. So
she's in
we
Fort
have
Bend as well.
Exactly.
We're both Fort Bend residents.
So we have questions coming from our Facebook group, and we have one from Andrew, and he wanted to find out, how can the citizens get involved?
How can the citizens get involved with COVID?
Or how can they get involved with the mental health in Fort Bend? Is there a way that if you aren't a parent that you can help the board in some kind of way?
That's a very good question. I think the main thing around that would be to communicate to people that the services are there. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of information on our website around mental health services, because we all know people who have challenges or need some support and help. And I know for me as a parent, up until recently, I didn't know where to get the help from. And that's one of the biggest drivers of this program for me, is to be able to give parents the opportunity to get help, to find resources. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's one of the things where more of us can talk about mental health positively. Mm-hmm. Just like if they cut their arm and we tell people to go to the hospital or get stitches. When it comes to mental health, I think our community can get more involved by having forums around mental health, to start sharing their personal stories about mental health, and communicate the resources that are available.
I've noticed that a lot of celebrities have really been stepping up and talking about their own personal mental health issues, which has always helped. It validates. But I was speaking to someone recently about the students, the high school students who are involved in sports. Now, because they're so familiar with the team aspect of it, is there something that Fort Bend was able to do to help address that? And these like the football players, the cheerleaders, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think Fort Bend ISD used the CDC as our guidelines around how we move forward with our school programs. Mm-hmm. The sports, there are specific guidelines on how we participate in sports, and that was also being driven by UIL as well. And so those are specific guidelines that we're using for them, but in order for our students to participate in sports. And so making sure that, they haven't been exposed to the COVID virus, and making sure they're doing the right precautions and whatnot. But we have some specific guidelines that we utilizing for our students in order to participate in our team sports.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that especially this year, last year, this year, because of COVID, there has been more awareness on mental health.
Really have.
And I think that the discussion is starting to have more in different communities.
Right. More mainstream.
Yeah,
especially among the African Americans.
And it's nice that this program was already in existence, so it wasn't like something that had to come into existence. It was already in place.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
so,
very true.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't know we don't talk about things until it impacts us, right, directly. And so I think with COVID, that was a major challenge for mental health for more people that may not have to deal with it, even for people personally, right? I mean, to be isolated from a lot of people, I think that was a challenge for a lot of folks. I mean, so then they have to do their own self-reflecting and say, hey, if this is happening to me, this could be happening to anyone.
That's
and
true.
and it affects, like you was talking to athletes who aren't able to work out, to work out those frustrations.
People who rely on their team activities.
And we didn't even talk about if you've lost a family member during that time of isolation.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So every aspect we have to consider. There are a lot of kids who lost their parents and their grandparents.
Exactly.
So those is, we have crisis centers for that, but some schools have not been stepping up the way Fort Bend. So I definitely want to applaud you for doing what you're doing. And I know you're involved in a whole lot of stuff. Is there anything else that you're involved in that you'd like us to know about?
Let's see, what am I involved in? I'm involved in a lot of things right now. But right now, to be honest with you, I am super focused on our school district. We have our superintendent has decided to resign, and so I move on to new opportunities, and so we are now in a transition. The district is now in a major transition, and so I am super focused on the process of us hiring a new superintendent. So I really don't have time to do a lot.
Will you be part of the hiring process?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry about that. I think we got a little lag. Will you be involved in the hiring of your new superintendent?
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, on Wednesday night, we're going to be starting our planning discussions with HYNA, who is the consultant that we have hired in order to help lead us through this process of finding a new superintendent. We're going to be doing a national search. So we've got a lot of work to do. And so we can't do all those other activities until we have a good superintendent to help us, lead us in the direction that we need as a board. So we're excited about that. That starts on Wednesday night. So those of you all who are out there, you all can definitely call in or Zoom in and watch us on Wednesday night as we start the planning process for finding our new leader of Fort Bend ISD.
So is there any contact information for anyone who wants to do that? What website do they go to?
So if they want to watch any of our board meetings, whether it be tonight or Wednesday, you can always find us on the FortBendISD.com website. We also have a YouTube channel, the Fort Bend ISD YouTube channel, so that you can always stream our board meetings there as well.
Well, we always like to end with giving us some word of wisdom. So what word of wisdom would you share with students, parents, caregivers that might help themselves in the middle of a crisis?
Ooh, in the middle of a crisis. Well, I think is for you to know that you're not alone, and that everyone has had similar challenges, if not the same challenges, and for you to find someone safe to open up and talk to so that you can get the support that you need. And so do not keep it in. Definitely communicate it out so that you can get the help that you need.
That's great. Now, one last thing before you go. We know you are running, and if there is someone who'd like to participate in your campaign, how can they reach out?
Oh, absolutely. You can reach me at advocateaddie.com, advocateaddie.com, and that is my website. Election day, early voting starts April 19th through the 27th of April. Election day is May 1st. So if you would like to support me or support the campaign, feel free to reach out to me at that website, or you can email me at advocateaddie, FBISD@gmail.com, advocateaddie, FBISD@gmail.com. Thank you so much for having me and asking that question.
Oh, thank you. We really appreciate it. We wish you the very best. You're on a mission. We support that mission.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your time with us, Addie. We hope to see you again soon.
Day.
Take care now.
You too. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, guys, we'll be right back with Miss Jeanette Boleare. So hang in there because you're going to find out how to get some of those lucrative contracts with Fort Bend ISD.
Are you living just to get by? Are you looking for some blue sky? How you living? How you living? Are you living just to get by? Are you looking for some blue sky?
When people stop talking to each other, society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
Aren't you tired of not getting what you want in bed?
Are you ready to spice things up behind those closed doors?
Woo! We're here for you every hump day at 7 p.m.
This is Sex on the Edge with Jen and Hen. I'm Jennifer Reeves.
And I'm Hendrik Scott, and we are professional licensed sex therapists.
So remember to watch us Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Edge Radio TV, just in time for sexy time.
And we are back at Edge Radio TV Network. And now we'd like to welcome back one of our favorite small business advocates, Ms. Jeanette Boleare. Welcome, Jeanette.
Welcome, Jeanette. Good to see you.
Thank you all so much.
We are
Good
very
to be back
happy.
with you all.
Thank you. I don't know if you were able to listen in to our time with Addie, but you guys are running a great operation over there.
Thank you so much. And yes, I was able to hear our illustrious board president. She is doing a remarkable, outstanding job for our community and for our children. And, you know, I have a big passion for our children.
Yes, you do. Yes,
she, along with Dr. Dupree and our board.
So for the people who aren't familiar with you, could you give us a little history about yourself, a little introduction?
Well, my passion is advocating for small businesses and creating environments that's conducive to learning for our children. I have a bachelor's in technical management, a master's in project management, and a master's in business administration, and a love for people and serving.
I'm a witness to that. I've seen her in action many times.
Yeah, I mean, that's what life is about being of service to others.
That is exactly right. That should be everyone's purpose.
Exactly.
To give some value. So, Jeanette, in terms of your professional calling, you run the Fort Bend ISD Small Business Enterprise Program, correct?
Yes.
So, can
Yes,
you kind
we
of give
do.
a high level of what that's all about?
Well, the district has a small business program that is race and gender neutral with a 25% participation goal. We focus on construction, architectural, engineering, and design services. We also have the goods and services as well. In order for a vendor to do business with the district, they have to register in our Bonfire registration portal. And that can be found at www.fortbendisd.com/S as in Sam, B as in boy, E as in Eric, P as in Paul. It is also on our purchasing website.
And it's a fairly painless process to register. You make it pretty easy for people to get involved.
Absolutely, absolutely. On our small business page as well, there is a link that says one-on-one meeting request. And that's that link. If they click on that link, fill out the information, Robin and Dr. Kiva, the email comes directly to our office and we will schedule a one-on-one meeting. And it's a 30-minute meeting to get them acclimated to doing business with the district.
And that's really the best thing to do, is to get that one-on-one before you do anything else, because Jeanette will guide you through the process, and that's really good.
So what is the criteria for someone to even be eligible for the program?
Registration.
Do they need a tax ID number?
Yeah, we're gonna get to now the registration. For the vendor registration, they asked for, and it's on our procurement portal, they're going to put their company name, the company information, etc., and fill out those fields. They asked for certification, and we'll talk a little bit more about certification in a few minutes. And they also asked them to fill out a supplier diversity form. These requirements are in Bonfire. And I kind of put it like this, Robin, you and Dr. Kiva. I tell all the vendors, I'm holding your hand and walking you through this process.
You can't go wrong. You really, if you fail, that's on you.
I need someone to hold my hand.
She's wonderful about that. So you have a workshop coming up this week.
Oh,
correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Wednesday,
can you kind of tell us what it's about?
Yeah, it's Wednesday, March 31st. It's going to be at 2:00. The Zoom registration and the Zoom link is on the small business portal website, which is www.fortbendisd.com/SBEP. We're going to be talking about bonding and insurance, and it's critical that the businesses are bonded and insured. And we have our Director of Risk Management that will be on board with us, as well as Joe Blase. So they are experts in the areas, and we're looking forward to them. We also have some other guests that are going to be on, and some financial institutions that's going to be on as well.
Now, I know on your last workshop, you had someone from SBA on, and they were explaining how the PPP program. Now, do you know if that's closed, or are people still able to apply for the PPP grants or the loans?
We're actually going to have a representative from the SBA back again. So they will be able to address all of those questions, and the funding that is available, is still available, as well as kind of walk the businesses through that process. We're going to have a breakout session with them, so they'll be able to, the vendors will be able to join that breakout room and ask as many questions as they so desire.
Okay, so you mentioned some kind of certification program.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the district has 4 certifying agencies. One is the City of Houston. And this is where a lot of businesses get confused, because they think that every institution takes the same certifications, and it's not the case. So with us, it's the City of Houston, SBE, MBE, WBE, and PDBE, Metro, SBE, the Port Authority, SBE, United States Small Business Administration, SBA 8A, under a particular procurement.
So it's more than people who are part of the construction. So that's one of the things a lot of people want to know. Do you have to be in the construction business to participate? No. We're actually trying to broaden the database, small business enterprise program, enrollment program. We're trying to broaden that so it's inclusive for all businesses, because I think I was watching a few minutes ago and someone asked about, in the questions, they asked about a health drink and for students, maybe for the mental health issues in those kids. So I saw that in there, and I wanted to share with that business if they would go on our website and actually register for that one-on-one meeting with me. Wonderful. Then we can talk about how to get their product potentially into the district. Very good. See, nice. You never know where those opportunities are going to come from. So that's fantastic. We appreciate that.
Yeah, because Fort Bend that's a large area.
Yeah, and that's right. It's humongous. How big is Fort Bend? You guys have one of the largest school districts in the state. Is that true? Yeah, we are in the running for one of the largest, and I know that we're the most diverse school district. So we serve a lot of diverse in the community, a lot of the students.
Yeah, because I'm guilty of thinking Fort Bend like just Sugar Land and Missouri City, and don't think about how large the district really is. Part of Fort Bend?
No,
I don't think so.
Katy is in Fort Bend County. Yes.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Yes. Good to know. Wow.
So if you start looking at counties, then that's why we always say Fort Bend and surrounding areas. Okay. So we make it all inclusive. We're not leaving anyone out.
So I know on your last visit, you shared with us there were several $100 million available towards this bond program. Is that still the case, or?
We have an overall $992 million bond.
Okay, so it's grown.
From the beginning.
That's a little percentage, just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I think, Robin, when you and I first met, it was the 2014 bond, and it was $484 million.
Okay.
So the 2018 bond, it's $992 million.
It has doubled.
And we actually have, for the vendors that are listening, there are some solicitations in Bonfire. So I encourage them to enroll. They can go to the purchasing website or to the small business page. Purchasing has a video that will help them register. Great. And we have fencing services, audio visual that's coming up, a data center infrastructure, fire protection, a construction of a new elementary school. It's just a lot out there, and I won't name all of them, but I encourage every vendor that's listening to go to Bonfire, go to our portal and register.
Definitely. And then you can find out what you're eligible for, because you guys have a partnership. I think we're going to take a quick break, but then I want to talk about the other partnerships that work with you, for instance, like Metro.
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Yeah, because it's good to know that all the things that they cover, you just think
it could be life-changing. It really
totally
could.
Can. Get that 990
Hello.
million.
I just take a little tiny percentage, a
little percent. So we'll take a short break and we'll learn even more about how to get that Fort Bend money.
We want to make sure you're living right. I'll be right back.
Are you living just to get by? Are you looking for some blue sky? How you living? How you living? Are you living just to get by? Are you looking for some blue sky?
The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information.
And my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay?
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
And welcome back to How You Living on Edge Radio Network TV. And so today we have Miss Jeanette Boleare, who's talked to us about Fort Bend School District and how to get some grant money. So you had mentioned that you have a mentorship program, and so people can have that one-on-one time with you. How long do they have you as a mentor? How long is it a forever thing, or how does that work?
Well, it's just something that we actually it's just a part of function that we're doing with the program right now. Not necessarily, I know it's similar to a mentorship program, but we actually just put those meetings, those one-on-one meetings, in our agenda because we met so many vendors that we would shake their hands, and I'd see other programs similar to ours shake their hands and get their business card, and the vendor walks away with what next. So we decided to put together the one-on-one meetings to assist the vendors and actually walk them through the process.
And from what I've experienced attending your workshops, each of your speakers are extremely patient with making sure there may be vendors who are brand new to this environment. And so they're really, really patient. They are very generous with their contact info, and they're willing to help all the way through. And I think a good example is Metro, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. They seem to participate at every one of your workshops.
Yes, Metro is one of our certifying agencies that, yes, they participate. Monique Petaway is a certification specialist over there, and Sharonda Murray is a part of Metro's small business program, and they participate in every event that we have to ensure that the businesses get all the information that they need to succeed.
That's great. And then I think HCC and U of H. So it's a real big community you have with the other schools and other. Yeah,
because it's especially from COVID, it's a lot of people who have started new businesses and need someone to kind of help them and lead them through the process.
That's very true.
And so you guys have a meeting this Wednesday. How often do you guys have meetings that the small businesses can attend through Zoom?
We have them quarterly. We have the meetings quarterly. So the one that's coming up in March the 31st, which is this week. We're looking forward to that. Our schedule.
Edge Radio will be there. we're a big fan of yours.
Edge Radio is one of our special guests as well. So
and we appreciate
want
that.
to ensure that you all are there. And I'm giving you a shout out now, and you get one when you attend the workshop.
And she is not kidding. She really gave us a shout out on the last one. We're actually on your agenda somewhere. I'm sure I saw her name somewhere.
Yes. It went out on the press release that you all will be there as well.
So anyone who is listening, just to make sure that they understand, like I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
So on Wednesday, you'll have a workshop, and people can participate if they have registered or they need to register as a small business. Or can anyone just show up?
Can anyone participate?
Anyone can participate. That's what it's all about. They don't have to be registered already in order to participate in the workshop. Just sign up for the workshop on our webpage and come to the virtual meeting. And we will share a lot more. There's a vast amount of information we want to share with the small businesses, not only Fort Bend ISD, but our partners as well.
It's very comprehensive. I would say you guys make it very easy to understand, and that helps a lot because people can be intimidated. You know?
And I mean, and this gives you an opportunity to get some grant money.
Yes,
I mean,
because
you got an expert with all her passion to serve and help others, and she's going to help you to get money so that you can serve the community.
There you go.
And it's a workshop on Wednesday, and you can get all the information you need.
That's right. It's really a no-brainer.
It really is.
And since it's Zoom, you don't have to worry about driving anywhere.
Yeah, you can be real comfortable at home and get all the information, and then to turn around and have,
you know, by doing some good.
Yeah, and then you can even have a mentorship program.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a win for any small business for sure.
It sure is. And you have some amazing success stories, I know, of people who have gotten contracts that are super lucrative, right?
Yes, and actually on our webpage, there is one that talks about, you can see the different ones that actually, and I think, Robin, I think you're on there as well.
What?
Oh, really? Who knew?
You attended one of the workshops, but they actually talk about their opinions of the program and how the program has helped them in many ways. And so that's rewarding to hear that the vendors, you know, are helped, and more rewarding because we're creating environments conducive to learning, those buildings that we put up.
Absolutely.
The HVAC,
that technical building. That's a perfect example. A lot of people got hired building the newest building you guys have.
Right.
Because what was that, like $100 million, that project? It was pretty expensive.
We have the Korean technology one.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was extensive. I wanted to share this though, Robin, you and Dr. Kiva. So far, the board and the superintendent has awarded $524.6 million in contracts.
$500 million.
And of that, $136.3 million has been committed to small businesses. We're at 26%, and our goal is 25%. This is on this construction side.
Wow.
And we've paid small businesses to date $74.6 million.
That's amazing. And that includes AV, IT. It's not just construction.
Yes,
it's
IT.
Audio, video.
No, it's not just construction.
Okay, so that's
wow.
No wonder you're award winning. You're really just
She's award giving.
Award giving and award receiving. That's true. You're very good.
Well, thank you. So, what word of wisdom would you want to share with our small business participants or small business owners?
Even though we're in the midst of a pandemic, never give up. There's always an opportunity as long as you push, thrive for it.
That's good.
Don't let anybody tell you that you can't make it. You can. And remember, Fort Bend ISD Small Business Enterprise Program, Jeanette Boleare will walk you through the process and introduce you to our partners so you can get those opportunities. It's all about our children, and we want to make their lives better because they are our future.
That's a mic drop right there.
I mean, I need to put that in a T-shirt.
We all need to get a piece of that action. Just one more time, if we could get people your contact information specifically for the Small Business Enterprise Program.
www.fortbendisd.com/S as in Sam, B as in boy, E as in Eric, P as in Paul. Telephone number here is 281-327-7697. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we will see you on Wednesday.
Exactly. Come join us on the Zoom call.
Yeah, we hope everyone listening, comes and participates in this amazing program.
Exactly. I mean, it's the wave of the future because our economy is really driven by small businesses.
That's right.
And so it's important that we get the grants and
Yes,
so we can have
because
those
you
businesses.
give people opportunity to get a job. You get to hire more people.
Exactly.
So it's just a really good, relationship.
Yeah, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Our time is simply.
Time goes by so fast, especially when you have these awesome guests.
I know.
So Jeanette, thank you so much for everything, and we'll be seeing you again before the next workshop.
Thank you. How you living?
Look at you. Yes. So she asked the question for us.
That's right. She beat us to it.
She beat us to it.
But we got to say it again anyway. So
Exactly.
Jeanette, join us one more time when we ask our audience, how you living?
How you living?
Take care.